Imagine waking up in a hospital bed and not knowing who you are, not in the vague, disoriented way you might feel after a deep sleep. No, you open your eyes and there is simply nothing. No name, no face, no memory of a single day you have ever lived. You are 18 years old. The only thing that exists in the entire blank landscape of your mind, the only thing that has survived, is a face looking down at you. A face that is impossibly identical to your own. That is how Alex Lewis woke up after a motorcycle accident in 1982. He didn't know his name. He didn't know his mother, his home, or a single friend he had ever made. The entire first 18 years of his life had been erased, completely and without warning, by a condition called retrograde amnesia. The only person he recognized was his twin brother, Marcus, and so, Marcus became everything. He became Alex's memory, his history, his guide back to the world. For years, decades in fact, Alex trusted every word his brother told him. He had no reason not to. But Marcus had made a choice in that hospital room. A choice to protect his brother from something that had happened to both of them. During the childhood Alex could no longer remember, and the weight of that secret would define both of their lives for the next 30 years. The reason why may be one of the most heartbreaking acts of love you'll ever hear. Alex and Marcus Lewis were identical twins born in England. Growing up, they were inseparable in the way that twins often are. Two people sharing not just a face, but a world. Their mother remarried, and the boys were raised in a household that, from the outside, may have appeared ordinary. But what was happening inside that home is something we will return to, because it is, ultimately, the center of this entire story. What is documented is this: both boys experienced a childhood marked by serious abuse and trauma. The full nature of that abuse will be addressed shortly, as it was disclosed by both brothers directly. Alex in the memoir, Marcus in the Netflix documentary. For now, what matters is that they grew up together, side by side, carrying experiences that neither boy fully understood at the time, and that Marcus, in particular, carried alone for a very long time after. In 1982, Alex Lewis was 18 years old when he was involved in a motorcycle accident. The accident left him in a coma. When he regained consciousness, doctors confirmed what his family feared. Alex had suffered severe retrograde amnesia. His memory, not just of the accident but of his entire life up to that point, was gone. He did not recognize his mother. He did not recognize friends. He did not know his own name. The one exception was Marcus. Somehow, in the wreckage of his memory, Marcus remained. Alex has said that he simply knew Marcus, recognized him instinctively, in a way he could not explain, and the doctors could not fully account for. The bond between them had survived, where nothing else had. That single surviving connection would become the foundation of everything that followed. Marcus stepped into an extraordinary role. He became, in the most literal sense, the author of his brother's identity. He brought Alex photographs. He explained who people were. He reintroduced Alex to family members, to friends, to the basic facts of the life they had shared. He told Alex about their childhood, their home, their history. Alex, who had nothing else to hold on to, believed every word. And why wouldn't he? This was his brother, his twin, the only person his broken memory had chosen to keep. What unfolded over the weeks and months following the accident was a kind of reconstruction. Marcus, carefully and deliberately, piecing together a version of Alex's past and handing it to him, piece by piece. It worked. Alex rebuilt a life. He found his footing, formed relationships, moved forward. By most measures, he recovered remarkably. But there was something Marcus never gave him. Among everything Marcus told Alex, the memories, the stories, the explanations, there was one part of their childhood he left out entirely. He never told Alex about the trauma. For years, Alex lived with a reconstructed past that was, in crucial ways, incomplete. He knew the surface of his life. He knew the names and the faces. What he did not know was what had happened to him, and to Marcus in the home where they grew up. Marcus never brought it up. He chose again and again not to tell. Why? That is the question that sits at the heart of this story, and Marcus has answered it directly, on camera, in the Netflix documentary. His answer is not what you might expect. It was not denial. It was not shame, exactly. It was something more complicated than either of those things. Marcus made a deliberate choice to protect his brother. He believed, and held onto this belief for decades, that if Alex couldn't remember the past, then perhaps he was in some way free of it. If the memory was gone, maybe the damage was too. Maybe silence was a mercy. So, he stayed silent. What both brothers have documented in the memoir and in their interviews on camera is that they faced severe and horrific trauma as children. They suffered immense mistreatment carried out by their mother, and, according to what they have disclosed, involved others. This is not a detail either brother has been vague about. They have spoken about it publicly, specifically, and with deliberate intention. They wanted it documented. They wanted it acknowledged. Marcus carried the full weight of this dark knowledge for 30 years. He remembered everything. He had never forgotten. And every year that passed was another year he had chosen not to tell Alex, not to return that particular part of his brother's stolen past. The decision was, by any measure, an enormous one, and it cost Marcus something. You can see that cost on his face in the documentary. The exhaustion of a man who has been holding something very heavy for a very long time. The truth did not emerge in a single, dramatic moment. According to what both brothers have shared, the disclosure happened gradually. Alex began to piece things together over time, through conversations with Marcus, and eventually through the process of working on the memoir together. The documentary captures what that confrontation looked like. Two brothers sitting across from each other, finally talking about something that had never been spoken between them. Alex learned what had happened to him. He learned what Marcus had known, and had chosen not to say for 3 decades. The emotional weight of that conversation is almost impossible to describe. Alex was not just learning about his past, he was learning that his past had been curated, that the person he trusted most in the world had made a unilateral decision about what he deserved to know about his own life. And Marcus had to sit across from his brother and explain why. What followed was not simple. Forgiveness rarely is. Alex has spoken honestly about the complexity of his feelings, the grief of learning what happened to him, layered with the disorientation of learning it as an adult without any emotional memory attached to it. He was processing trauma he couldn't remember experiencing. That is a strange and particular kind of pain. Marcus, for his part, has acknowledged the weight of the choice he made. He has not tried to argue that it was the right one, only that it came from love. Protecting Alex was for decades the thing Marcus organized his life around. The silence was not cruelty. It was, in Marcus's understanding, the only thing he could offer. Both brothers have said that making the memoir And then the documentary was part of their healing. Giving the story to the world was a way of releasing something, of no longer carrying it privately. Their relationship endured. It is not uncomplicated, but they are still brothers. They are still twins. That has not changed. There is something profound buried in this story, and it isn't really about secrets or revelations. It's about the nature of identity itself. Who are we, if not the sum of what we remember? Alex Lewis lost his entire past in a single accident. What he got back, the version of himself that Marcus constructed, memory by memory, photograph by photograph, was real enough to build a life on. He laughed, worked, loved, and moved through the world as himself. And yet, there was a gap, a piece of the foundation that was simply missing. What Marcus tried to do was spare his brother from a darkness he couldn't unsee. He made himself the keeper of their worst memories, so that Alex wouldn't have to be. That is not a decision that can be neatly labeled right or wrong. It was human. It was imperfect. It was love in one of its most complicated forms. The two of them sat down together and put all of it on the page, not to settle a score, not to assign blame, but because they believed the truth deserved to exist somewhere. Even the parts that hurt, especially those parts. Memory, it turns out, is not just something we carry. It is something we give each other. And sometimes the most painful question isn't what we remember, but what someone who loves us chose to forget on our behalf.